Hi everyone, and welcome again to Southside Dodge Rebels this week. It has been anything but a festive atmosphere around the Red Deer Rebels these days. Injuries, suspensions, losses. It's all added up to an end to November and a start to December that no one wants to remember. Last Tuesday, the Rebels lost to the Lethbridge Hurricanes for the third consecutive time, this time by a score of 3-1. The biggest play of note came late in the first period when Alex Petrovic went high with his hit on the Hurricanes' Jamal Watson. Petro received a major penalty for checking to the head and a game misconduct. He would later receive a 2-game suspension from the Western Hockey League. Brody Sutter continued his strong play against the Rebels with 2 goals and an assist. Colton Mayer's 7th of the season was the lone bright spot for the Rebels. One night later, the Rebels returned here to the NMAX Centrium to take on the Spokane Chiefs, who had Colin Valcourt and Mac Engel, both Red Deer natives, in their lineup. Here's Cam Moon with the call.
The Rebels take on the Chiefs here tonight, and Mike, the Rebels 4 straight games, they've only scored a goal. I mean, it's tough sledding when you got this many guys out of the lineup, like older players, high-end players. But hey, the young guys are getting an opportunity to play. As long as they keep sticking at it, keep working hard, they will get better. They will get rewarded. Yeah. Into the middle of the ice, skating through Aviani. He's got Chartier with him. Here's Aviani, the shot off the post. He won't get it out. Person's going to keep it in. Person through the slot, shoots it, score! John Pearson shot it, and it looks like Colton Mayer tipped it in as it had got through Engel. It's 1-0 Red Deer. Neal and Kramer are jostling with each other in front of the Rebel net. Kramer goes behind the goal, tries to jam it in. He does. Darren Kramer scores from the side of the net. And this game is tied at 1. And into the slot, goal on the left wing in front to Uhair. Great save by Bartaszak as Dominic Uhair was alone in front of the net, and Bartaszak had to sprawl across and cover it up. In the middle, left side, Bardero, top of the circle, side of the net, Gal in front of the net, Kitchton scores. A tic-tac-toe play, and Kitchton had slipped in, and he puts it in what was an empty net by that point. It's a power play goal, and the Chiefs are up 2-1. Get it out for the Chiefs to Uhair on the right wing. To Bardero. Bardero centering pass goes to Uhair, off a skate, scores! It came in front of the Rebel net and hits somebody in front, and it gets by Bartaszak. It's 3-1 Chiefs. The left wing, he's got Muller with him, couldn't get a pass through. Now a shot and a left pad save by Engel. Good stop by Engel. Kept in, Gow across to Van Dane. He'll then shoot it wide, comes off the end boards. Dangerous in front for Valcourt. Kicks it loose, puck, Holmberg scores. Holmberg finally got the loose puck, puts it over Bartaszak, and it's a 4-1 Chief lead. Inside, the New York Islander draft pick gets it into the Red Deer zone. Kewen after it. Kewen pokes it just wide. He'll get it up to the blue line. He'll go into the middle. He'll fake the shot. He'll then let it go. He scores. Holmberg goes short side right upstairs, and that makes it 5-1 for Spokane.
Pouliot comes in, Cam, played last night in Lethbridge, and 2 goals on 30 shots.
They got an empty netter.
Yeah, to make it the 3-1 final. And
on the right wing, we'll get it to McCoy. He'll get it out to Fazer, in over the Chief line, pass back to McCoy, the backhand score! Kept the lead to 5-2. It'll be Mark McCoy from Scott Fazer and Locke Muller. And Scott Fazer gets his first WHL point.
Absolutely. Second game.
We'll get it up to Kalush. Now on the right wing to Proft as Kalush took a hard hit. And the Red Deer Rebels drop a 5-2 decision here to the Spokane Chiefs.
We're definitely thin right now, no question about it. We're missing a lot of our key guys, our veteran players, our overage guys, our 19-year-olds. But you know what? That's you have to fight through it. It's the only way. We got to play the games, and we got to try and work our way through it and work our way out of this. And I thought we started the game well. Obviously, got the first goal. And then we allowed them to score easily. The first goal was a tough goal to give up right after you score. You've got the momentum, I thought it was just details. Every goal that we gave up were breakdowns that we focused on in practice this week. It's The first one was poor coverage where we drifted and lost position, and the second one, the power play goal, they did exactly what we knew they were going to do, and we just allowed them to execute, didn't pick up the backside. The third goal against was off the rush, and I mean, we worked on that 3 days this week, picking up the right guy, and we were soft one-on-one. Fourth goal, we were soft at our net on the box out, and then the fifth goal, we had it sorted out, and then our defenseman backed off, and we allow a guy to wheel all the way around our zone without touching him.
With so many regulars missing from their lineup, Jesse Wallen called on a pair of Rebels prospects to fill the void, and he was quite pleased with the efforts of Red Deer native Scott Fazer and 2011 first-round Bantam draft pick Connor Bleakley.
Oh, I thought they were fine. I didn't think they were out of place. Faze, I thought, played pretty well last night as well, and he made a play on the goal there, and good for those guys to get some ice time. Bleaks as well. I thought he made some offensive plays. He got a couple of shots on goal, and he's got a heavy shot. And for a 15-year-old kid, I thought he handled himself fine.
No doubt Mac Engel was thrilled to pick up the victory for the Chiefs in his hometown. Holmberg scoring twice, leading the way offensively, while Colton Mayer and Mark McCoy replied for the Rebels. Immediately following that game, the Rebels boarded the bus and headed east to Brandon, where they would take on the Wheat Kings in the first of their 4-game road trip. Darian Derzinski is a name you'll hear more from in a moment, but on this play, he falls victim to a great save by Rebels goalie Bolton Pouliot. The Rebels would open the scoring in this one as John Person leads the rush. His initial shot is blocked, but he finds the rebound and blasts it past Wheaties goalie Corbin Bowes for a 1-0 lead. Scary moment here for the Rebels as the point shot from Jordan Francouz strikes Matthew Dumba in the face. He missed the rest of the opening period, but would return for the second. Less than 90 seconds into period number 2, Ryan Pollock would get the Wheaties on the board, setting off an avalanche of stuffed animals on their annual teddy bear toss night. It's 1-1. Brandon takes a 2-1 lead when Pouliot makes the save on Pollock's point shot, but the rebound goes right to Derzinski, who makes no mistake scoring a power play marker just a minute and 6 seconds after Brandon had tied the game. Great scoring chance for Chad Robinson as he forces the turnover, then goes in all alone, but Bowes shuts the door, keeping it 2-1. Wheaties expand their lead when Matthew Dumba tries a poor pass up the middle. It ends up on Derzinski's stick. He beats Pouliot for his second of the game, a short-handed marker, making it 3-1. But Dumba makes up for it on this play, starting the tic-tac-toe that ends up with Brooks Maxwell scoring into a wide-open net. Rebels are right back in it, trailing 3-2. But before the end of the second period, Derzinski would cap off his hat trick on the night with a shot from a tight angle past Pouliot. Brandon leads 4-2 through 2 periods. A controversial moment here as the Rebels think they score their third goal of the game when Joel Hamilton gets a hold of Justin Weller's rebound. He puts it into the yawning cage. It was initially ruled as a goal, and it does indeed appear that Hamilton ever so slightly gets his stick on it, but the referees gather to chat about it, and they call it no goal. Tough call for the Rebels to take, but it remains 4-2 Brandon. Rebels come close again, but Corey Miette rings it off the goalpost. It remains 4-2, and that's how this one would end as the Wheat Kings hang on for the home ice victory. Overall, a solid effort by a hungry Rebels club, but 4 goals against in the second period, led by Derzinski's hat trick, proved to be too much to overcome. Coming up after the break, we'll show you highlights from Regina, and we'll give you an update on the World Junior Hockey Championships.
I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to my family back home in Lethbridge and Calgary, and Merry Christmas to the fans, and a Happy New Year. And my wish is for my hand to heal for Christmas so I can be back in the new year.
Hi, I'm Cale Dutch, and I'd like to wish my family and friends back home a Merry Christmas.
I'm Joel, and I'd like to wish my friends, family, and billets a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Welcome back to the show. One final game to tell you about this week, and it took place Saturday night in Regina. The Rebels and the Pats all of a sudden jockeying for position, battling for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Once again, it would be Red Deer hitting the scoreboard first. Person fires it wide, but Matthew Dumba pounces on the rebound for his 8th of the season to make it 1-0. Pats would respond. Jordan Wheel with a great backdoor feed to Chandler Stevenson for his 13th of the year. And for the second straight night, the Rebels sit through an onslaught of teddy bears. The Rebels would retake the lead after that. Tyler Geibel, who the Rebels signed earlier in the day as a free agent from Yorkton of the SJHL, fires and scores on an Boom. Rebels would take a 2-1 lead into the second period. Former Rebel Lane Scheidel stick handles through the Rebs defense. He tees it up for Trent Ouellette, who snaps it past Patrick Bartosak to tie it at 2-2. Dyson Stevenson with a huge hit in Rebels territory. Locke Muller takes offense and goes toe-to-toe with Stevenson. A spirited bout. Unfortunately for Muller, he gets 17 minutes in penalties for his efforts. A couple minutes later, on a 5-on-4 power play, Colton Jobkey blasts home his 5th of the season, giving the Pats their first lead of the game, 3-2 heading into the third period. The Rebels would tie it at 3 thanks to an unlikely source, Matthew Pufall, with his first of the season and just the second goal of his Western Hockey League career. But Jordan Wheel would take over from there, turning both Rebels defenders inside out on his way to his 13th of the season. That makes it 4-3. Pats would add an empty netter for a 5-3 triumph, sending the Rebels to their 9th loss in a row. Solid effort by Patrick Bartosak, making 36 saves on 40 shots for the Rebels, but it wasn't enough as Regina skated to victory. The Rebels' free fall in the standings continues. They now find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division, 1 point back of the Calgary Hitmen. They also head into Tuesday's game 1 point back of Regina for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. John Person continues to be your scoring leader for the Rebels, 32 points in 27 games. Adam Kambites, despite missing time due to a broken hand, tied for the goal-scoring lead with Person at 12. The Rebels' insanely busy stretch of games continues Tuesday night as they visit the Moose Jaw Warriors, and when they hit the Swift Current on Wednesday, they'll gladly welcome Turner Elson back to the lineup following his 6-game suspension. Next home action at the MX Centurion goes Friday night versus Brandon, and then on Sunday they're right back on home ice as they take on the Prince Albert Raiders. In light of the rash of suspensions and injuries they've faced over the last week, the Rebels forced to call on a number of new faces to fill out their lineup. We mentioned Scott Fazer and Connor Bleakley earlier in the show. Kevin Pochuk got the call on Brandon. No doubt a huge thrill for the 16-year-old defenseman from Winnipeg, as did Dexter Bricker, who hails from Saskatoon. By all accounts, both players handled themselves well, especially Bricker. For the game in Regina, the Rebels signed former Everett Silvertips forward Tyler Geibel as a free agent. He made an immediate impact, scoring a goal in the first period. However, Geibel notified the Rebels that it would be his only game with the club, deciding instead to return to the Yorkton Terriers of the SJHL. A couple more updates when it comes to Rebels possibly suiting up for the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championships. We already know that Alex Petrovic and Matthew Dumba will be trying out for Team Canada starting this Saturday in Calgary. Well, it's also becoming more and more likely that Patrick Bartosak will get to try out for Team Czech Republic. If that's the case, he'll head down to Lethbridge for their tryout camp starting December 17th. However, things not looking as good for John Person, as it's doubtful he'll be trying out for Team Sweden, this despite leading the Rebels in scoring and being one of their most consistent offensive players. That does it for this week's busy and exciting episode. We'll see you next time.